thank you to Stand Up Riverside, to both Ellie and Kathy and all the people that have started this. This is government. This is how it began. You own the government. I'm an employee. I'm at the here we go. I'm at the bottom of the food chain, and I understand that. I work for you, and it's an honor to work for the people of Riverside. And I say that very specifically. I'm elected by Ward 4, but I work for the people of Riverside because my vote affects every one of you, each and every one of you. So it has been an honor for 4 years to do so. So let's talk about Riverside. We're all here because we love this city. When I retired from the military, I could have gone anywhere in the world, and I chose to stay here because this had become my home. And that four-letter word means more to me than any of you would know unless you were in the military. This is my home. And I will fight for it. So we've got some issues in the city. We got some financial issues. And it's not this council, it's not the previous council, it's a series of years of where we have driven ourselves into damn near bankruptcy. And that has to stop. So don't hold me to the exact numbers. Don't go to the webpage and say you were off by 2, but let me give you a couple of things. The city's general fund is about $289 million. Of that, 80% goes to personnel. Think about that, 80%. The city runs on 20%. Of that 80%, 60% goes to 2 departments, and that's police and fire. We all want a safe city. We want our children to be safe. We want our neighbors to be safe. We want our fire department to be there when we need them. But we've got to be better at our contracts. 23% goes to the rest of the city, to finance, to parks, to public works, to whatever, and then 17% goes to the unrepresented people. Let me give you a couple of numbers. There's approximately 2,167 employees in the city of Riverside. About 460 what we call part-time when we get fully operational in the summer with our parks personnel, our people that are at the swimming pools, all the lifeguards. But let's just talk about the 2,167 people that work full-time every day. Of the top 100, $34 million goes to their salary and their benefits. Of the next 100, it's about 27.4. So about $61.4 million goes to just the personnel of the top 200 out of 2167. That has to come to an end. You can't afford that. The only way to continue that is to raise your taxes and fees. And I can't do that to you because I can't do it to me. And I wouldn't do to you what I wouldn't do to me. Because my job is to work for you. My job every day should say, what's your name, darling? Connie, my job is to say, what can I do for you today? And you go, Chuck, everything's fine. I go, Connie, thank you very much. I'm a ghost. You need me, you call me. I don't walk to you and go, Connie, guess what we did to you last night? We raised your fees and we added this to your costs. We shouldn't do that. We as your employees need to work for you. And that's been lost in our policy system, in our political system. It's not anymore. The elitists think that they tell you what to do. And you, by getting together and Stand Up Riverside, and God bless each and every one of you, you're showing, hello people, you work for us. We are the government, and we're going to ask you to serve for us to do the things we need to do. So Riverside's got financial challenges that are horrible, and it just cannot continue. We've got some homeless issues that are affecting the quality of life in every one of your neighborhoods. I don't care where you live, whether you live up in the hill in Ward 4 or you live in the Wood Streets, you've got homeless issues. And it took me 10 years to get it done. But in 2019, we started the Homeless Forum of the Inland Empire. And we brought together members from 20 cities in the county of Riverside and the county of San Bernardino to come together to work. Hear me now, work the homeless issue. You cannot solve it. Homelessness will always be here. When they say, oh, I'm going to solve homelessness, no, you're not. we can work the issue better. And it's a regional issue. We can't throw money at it. We're throwing money at it beyond what you probably even realize, and it's getting worse. You're all seeing the homeless problem grow and grow in Riverside. So it's going to be the collaboration and the synergy of the different cities to work together to solve this issue. And we had an amazing meeting in October of 19. We had 20 cities and 2 counties, and unfortunately COVID hit. So we had a city managers meeting and county managers meeting in January of 20, and then the April 20 and the October 20s were canceled. We did a Zoom meeting. I hate those damn things. They're useless. We had a Zoom meeting in March to start up again, but we've been told we cannot have the April meeting, and we're looking for an October meeting to get people back together to work homelessness. So that's the second biggest issue. The financial, the solvency of Riverside is number 1. Number 2 is the homelessness causing for your businesses, for your neighborhoods, for your children at the parks. What's going on with the homelessness? It's got to be addressed aggressively. Homelessness is not a crime, but what the homeless do often is a crime. And we need to make sure we give our police personnel and all of our officials in the city the tools they need to work to take these people out of our area. We offer them services. If they refuse the services, they need to be moved on. And I know Sheriff Chad Bianco is here. Chad has done so much to say, look, you know, you're not going to do this to our county, to our city. You're going to take the service we need or move your way along to someplace else, because you don't deserve, none of you deserve to have your neighborhoods affected the way they have been by the homeless going through your trash at night. You're asleep and you wake up in the morning and your stuff's all over the place because they've gone through and looked for the bottles and cans or whatever. Sleeping in front of your businesses, doing the business that they do in front of your businesses. You don't deserve that.
Hi everybody, I'm Joe Paredes. I'm running for City Council Ward 2. Thank you so much, Ellie, and your team, my campaign manager, Celine Simon, and Mark Trost, of course my wife, for sacrificing her time, tagging along with me, and leaving the kids in the car. Windows are cracked, everybody, don't worry. We live in a safe city. I've met a lot of you. Some of you are still trying to get to know me. I want to give you a little bit of biographical information on myself. I was raised by a devoted mother, a high school history teacher. My father was actually a high school football coach at JW North, dating back to 1994. I eventually graduated from North in 2003, where I met my wife, Marisol Mendoza. We did win a football championship in 2001. Primarily because of me, but we had a great team, great squad that year. But we went off and I graduated from Chapman University with a degree in political science with high honors. We got married shortly after that, my wife and I, and we started a towel business. I was traveling the country 3 weeks out of the month. A week here in Riverside wasn't happening. So we decided to build up our commercial real estate business, which we've successfully done for the last 11 years. We have 2 children, 9 and 7, and great kids, great family. I decided to reach out and run for city council because, one, I don't feel that I've done enough in volunteering other than youth sports, helping out in other community organizations, being part of our community, and I was sick of that after I realized that my wife got accosted at a gas station with our 2 children in the back seat by an aggressive vagrant. And I couldn't live with that anymore. This was in a good area in Riverside. It was in our ward. And I said, I can't continue to be building a business, raising a family, traveling, youth sports. We need to start to get involved. And this was that opportunity. When we found out that Andy was retiring and we saw who was running, by the way, I'm the oldest candidate, as you can see, other than my wife, who just graduated high school, by the way, totally legal. I'm the youngest one here, but you look at that and you say, how much life experience do these candidates have? And you know why that is? It's because there's too many people like me that didn't get involved early enough and start contributing their time and efforts in getting involved in their communities. And then you say, what's going on with California? Why do we have issues with homelessness, mental health issues, and all of that stuff? Is because there's too many people that have used city council positions as a springboard to go to state assembly, state senate. And we can't allow that to happen anymore. We need to inspire and recruit other working professionals like myself across California to run for these local positions. I'm not looking to be mayor. I'm not looking to be anything else but just help out in my community. Help out at Ward 2. And we are riddled by homeless issues. We are riddled by budget issues. We have a lot of other things that we have to take into consideration. Thank you so much for coming. Here's my walk piece, but I can guarantee you're going to hate me. Joe, I love you. You don't know anything about me. And specifically, you don't know that I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. So from then on, her husband comes out, and we followed up a couple times in texting, and she calls me and she goes, Joe, we don't have much money, but I would love to donate. And we got $100 from her with a little note saying, you know, go Tigers, you know, LSU Tigers. But these are the people that I talked to. And the reason she was so concerned was because of this incident that happened on the west side of Riverside. She said their main source of exercise is walking around that university neighborhood area. Her husband's about 5 or 7 years older than her. They're in their late 80s, and they don't feel safe anymore to do that. And as you get into these public situations, is what I'm doing, and I get uncomfortable, and you know, oh, when I'm spread too thin, I might lose that deal. I got to do this. I got to take Josiah to, you know, he's having trouble hitting the ball, and we need to do something better. But it's these reasons that we run for this office. It's these reasons that we show support, show courage, and stand up for somebody that can't stand up for themselves. So they're going to be hermits, and I'm going to just walk around and not worry about that? No, that's where we need to step up. That's where we need younger people that are right thinking, and they're going to do the right thing for our community. You're Scott, right? You hit on the what are we going to do to bring more business here? Well, I'm a commercial real estate broker. I've done this for 11 years, and what I do is I mainly focus on bringing businesses to our Inland Empire region. Manufacturers, distribution companies, these are people that employ between 500 to 1,000, provide between 500 and 1,000 jobs in addition to the ancillary jobs like a Starbucks worker, Del Taco worker, anything of that sort to our community. So I know how to do that. In fact, I'm working with an electric vehicle manufacturer right now that's looking for a site to be near our California Air Resources Board that's just being built and finished on Iowa in Ward 2. They need to be in that region. And we're working with them. They're going to bring good manufacturing jobs. And it's really important that we bring those jobs here because we continue to subsidize our students' education at UCR. They get that education and take it straight to Los Angeles and Orange County. You want to talk about air emissions? Well, let's get those cars off the road and start making sure that we capitalize on our real great entrepreneurial students and keep them here in the city of Riverside, provide them with jobs. And that's going to create more sales tax revenue by they're going to be spending their money here at lunch and things of that sort. We talked about a lot of other issues, and Chuck, you know, he's touched on a lot of different things when it comes to the budget, and our main concern, I think, in Riverside, I've talked to a lot of people, it's homelessness that is related to aggressive vagrancy. This is the main thing. Sheriff Bianco a couple weeks ago spoke at an event at the Lincoln Club, and he touched on it. He said, you know, there's if you're homeless, you're down on your luck, there's tons of resources out there throughout the county that you could tap into. Aggressive vagrancy, this is a combination of dealing with mental health, people that choose to be on the street. I come across these people all the time. I have to go to one of our buildings and open the door, and there's somebody there, scary as hell. Let me tell you, it's creepy. You don't know what you're going get into, but you kick these people out, and they say, I choose to be homeless. Go get help. No, I don't want that help. That they want food. They want services. They want resources that is established here in the capital, Riverside County, Riverside, and we provide all those services for them. We've done the right thing to a certain extent, but we've also herded everybody to come to Riverside City to get these services for free. And we need to start assessing that, like Chuck tapped into. We need to take a regional approach to solving this. We need to work with our state legislatures in order to look and reassess mental health issues and how we could tap into getting these people into these hospitals or without some consent. Criminalizing it is not going to be very popular, and I'm not saying that we should, but homeless people do commit crimes. And this woman that killed that poor lady walking her dog was in jail 4 days before that, and released with, she assaulted somebody with a skateboard, if you guys didn't hear. Then she stabs a woman to death. That's not a safe community. Our number one priority as a government is to provide protection for our constituents. That's it. That's the number one reason why we formed a government. Protection. And so what we need to do in order to support what I'm saying as far as working with regional and state, even federal agencies to avoid this, is to promote what we're doing. Working professionals, we need to inspire and recruit them to run for local city council positions across the state. And if we could do that, then we could prevent people from just springboarding from one position to the next position to the next position, because that method has failed us in the state of California, because there's two parties that control everything. And usually when there's two parties, there's two top heads that control everything down. They don't understand what's happening on the ground. We need more of a bottom-up type of government. And that was the basis of our federalist government in the beginning. So we need to take care of local issues, and I know they provide, the state and federal governments provide us a lot of funding, but we need to be more in control of the way we disperse that money. And at the end of the day, as I say, I want my family and your family to live, work, go to school, and play in a nice, safe, and clean community. Thank you so much.
So first, thank you all for coming to this. I am Chad Bianco. I am your sheriff. Unfortunately for all of us, we are in election season, but fortunately for all of us, we're in election season. So I hope that that's part of the reason why you're out here. I'm only going to talk for a brief second today, and what I was told is y'all have to, I'm just going to give you like a little teaser of what you can expect next month when you come to next month's meeting. So I will speak then, and I will talk longer and more, but I will answer a couple of questions today. But what I want to tell you after you've been listening to them speak tonight is, as I go around and I talk to people, obviously, they ask what I'm doing, what's the most important thing that law enforcement is dealing with, what's the most pressing issue, and to be quite honest with you, my job is not a pressing issue. I think I'm very good at my job. I think your deputies are very good at their job, and we don't have a problem doing our job. The biggest issue that I have, the problem that I have, is your legislatures and the people that you all are electing. So while you are going through this election process, you need to pay attention, you need to influence your friends, you need to influence your neighbors, because Joe already mentioned it, the number one reason we have a government, their function, their duty is to protect us. The protection of our people is the number one function of government. Number two is infrastructure. Everything else, if you have money left over, that's what the money left over is for. Unfortunately, your legislatures lost that a long time ago. Even your local officials lost that a long time ago. One thing that Joe mentioned was when you're talking about this, the housing that's going in, the density housing, and this is all an agenda. This isn't about housing for people. This isn't about, if you want people to be able to afford housing, bring them jobs here so they can work. Bring them jobs here so they don't have to move to a different state, to a different county, to a different city. Bring them something here that makes them be able to even stay, to want to stay. And that's how we're going to survive. That's what's going to make my job easier. Because